Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a couple of days. We're finally back with episode number 15 of the TW 2016 Challenge Run. We're booking Monday Night Raw, the Monday Night Raw after Fastlane, and the first of 3 Raws with WrestleMania as the next pay-per-view. So let's get into it right away. John Cena is here. Big Match John is here, and as advertised last week, and he's going to come to the ring to open Raw. And he cuts what I'm going to call the John Cena promo, where he says he went away, but he's back. He loves WWE, how he's never going to leave. This is his home, and he's missed you all, and he's here to stay, blah, blah, blah. And he's cut off by the music of Drew McIntyre, who comes out, and he reminds John Cena that, he will leave, because he's just returning now after he's been gone. And the reason he was gone, it wasn't by choice. It was because of Drew taking him out with that ankle lock in that fatal 4-way with Balor and Corbin, where Finn won and got the match with Lesnar at Royal Rumble. And Drew says, "John, you'd better watch your mouth, or I'm gonna put you out again this time." That's Irish. This time for good. Elias comes to the ring. No, he doesn't come onto the ring. He comes onto the stage and stands by Drew McIntyre. And since him and Drew teamed up last night, as well as Corbin, but we don't mention him because he's not in this segment, and him and Drew ended Kurt Angle at Fastlane by beating him. And Cena is the next on their list of legends that they need to put down to cement their own legacy. They get to the ring, they surround John Cena, and they start to attack him until Seth Rollins comes out. And he makes the save, sending Elias and Drew packing to set up the tag team main event that we have of Drew McIntyre and Elias against Seth Rollins and John Cena. This did pretty decent. The tag division is getting there, guys. 8-man tag team match. The Revival and Lashley and Apollo defeat Hawkins, Ryder, Rude and Gable when Dash Wilder pins Kurt Hawkins with the Shatter Machine. Not much else to say here. These 4 teams have all been going at it for the tag titles recently. Ryder and Hawkins came so close to ending Kurt Hawkins' streak, as seen here in this segment. Hawkins, he's sitting on the mat, he's like smacking the mat, punching the mat. He's angry he came so close to ending his streak. And I've just realised that's Bobby Lashley and not Bobby Roode. And Ryder's like trying to calm Hawkins down. Rude and Gable would then get into Zack Ryder's face and say that they lost because Ryder and Hawkins are losers. And there's no blows, it's just a heated confrontation between Gable and Rude and Ryder. And Rude and Gable walk off, seemingly unhappy that Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins lost this match for them tonight. Backstage segment with Stephanie McMahon. She announces that on Raw and SmackDown, there's going to be 2 tag matches for the women's tag division, and the winners of those 2 matches will face each other next week, and then the winner of that match will go on to the 2 winners tonight of Raw will face each other next week, and then the 2 winners of SmackDown from tomorrow night will face each other the week after that on SmackDown, and then those 2 teams in the final will face each other on the Go Home Raw to decide who will face Peyton Royce and whoever at WrestleMania. And we don't get the first one of those yet. We get Babatunde's one-on-one singles Raw debut. He's just general Raw debut, actually. But his singles debut beats No Way Jose. After the match, him and Braun get into the ring. Kurt Angle is supposed to be off-screen, but ignore him. Braun grabs a mic, and he explains why they attacked Kurt Angle last night at Fastlane. He says, "Just look at him and Babatunde. It's like, there's a combined nearly 800 pounds. A real-life combination of Godzilla and King Kong. We're an unstoppable tandem. But they're not when a weak link like Kurt Angle is added." And Braun says, "I'm tired of being Kurt Angle's big red button to press when he's too weak and past his prime to fight back against Baron Corbin and his pals.
Even with two monsters in his corner, he couldn't get the job done. Kurt Angle is an old hack, and he needs to retire. And us two, we're gonna be the two that do it.
So Braun making threats that him and Babatunde, the two monsters, are gonna retire Kurt Angle. We'll see how Kurt Angle feels about that. Now we get the first of the two women's tag team matches here tonight, with Liv and Sarah of the Riot Squad picking up the win over Nia and Tamina, because they're Nia and Tamina, they're never going to win a match. This also started the Battle Royal. Not even the tag division one, but okay. Match is officially official after all this time. We finally get the graphic for Becky Lynch versus Ronda Rousey for WrestleMania for the Raw Women's Championship. And then we just get a hype video recapping their story so far from Survivor Series, where Becky got taken out with a broken face, up until the Royal Rumble and further beyond until now. And it's announced that next week both women will be here on Raw. Finn Balor and Tyler Breeze in a rematch from Fastlane, non-title, and in this match, Tyler Breeze gets the win over Finn Balor after a distraction from Aaliyah and Tainara Conti, who appear to be... Tyler Breeze was nagging Alexa Bliss for the last couple of weeks to be like his valet, and it appears he's found two because Alexa has taken too long to respond to him. After the match, Tyler Breeze goes to the back with his two new women, and Finn's getting to his feet in shock after his defeat, and that's when Dean Ambrose jumps out of the crowd, IC title in tow that he's stolen off Finn, and drops Finn with the dirty deeds, gets in his face, shoves the Intercontinental Championship in his face, and then dips again back through the crowd, still with the title in his hands. That is not his. Then cut back to backstage where Tyler Breeze and his two new allies are walking through the hallway, and he's like bigging him up about how he beat Finn Balor, and that's Alicia Fox again. I've not done this too well this week. And then they bump into Alexa Bliss, who's looking very down on her luck. Tyler laughs at her, and he's like, Lexi babe, you didn't answer my calls quick enough. I've moved on now. Too bad for you. You could have accompanied a winner like me and the next Intercontinental Champion, but you're stuck by yourself being a loser. And then Breeze, Conti and Aaliyah would walk off laughing, and then Alexa would be like thinking aloud to herself, like, am I a loser? Am I a loser? And she'd snap out of it. She'd be like, no, I'm not a loser. Go out there and get together, Alexa. Show those fans why you're a 5-time women's champion. And Alicia Fox is supposed to be Aaliyah, but speaking of Alicia Fox, that is who Alexa is facing. She did lose to Mickie James, but she's going to beat her other old friend, Alicia Fox. And Alexa finally getting back on winning ways, it seems. We're getting back from a commercial break. Baron Corbin's in the ring with a microphone. He says that after him and Elias and Drew ended Kurt Angle last night, the next step is to make history, even once again. And he will do this at WrestleMania, when he becomes the first ever 2-time winner of the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. And that can't be changed. No one can stop him, and if anyone thinks they can, come out and face him right now. That's when Bray Wyatt's comes on, and he comes to the ring. Well, he doesn't come to the ring, he's in there because he's a spoopy boy. And he takes on Baron Corbin and gets the win on a 79B. Pretty decent match. This scored heat for the Andre story. So Bray Wyatt has also seemed to stake his claim to the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. We'll see who else will join in the coming weeks, and we'll find out who wins come WrestleMania. Backstage again, Triple H in his office, and he's there on his phone or doing whatever he does, doing Triple H things, going the gay mug, asking if he's fucking going over, when an angry Finn Balor comes into his office, Finn comes in, angry. He's like, I demand to be fit to face Dean Ambrose at WrestleMania. And Triple H says that
I can't do that, because I can't risk Dean Ambrose being in a championship match at WrestleMania. If Dean Ambrose wins that match, he's gonna leave with one of WWE's championships, and I can't have that over my head, Finn.
And Finn says, oh, you're right, but the only way to get it back off him, he has it right now, but we're gonna have to beat him to get it off him because he's not gonna just give it back to me. That is Alicia Fox again. Oh my god, Connell. Get your fucking head together. But anyway, he's interrupted by Tyler Breeze and flanked by the two women. And Tyler Breeze says Triple H needs to grow some balls, needs to go and take his property back from Dean Ambrose, and then just cut him loose from his contract right now, since all he's doing is being a inconvenience to everybody, and then let the man who just pinned the Intercontinental Champion, that of course being Tyler Breeze, get the match at WrestleMania for the title. Triple H looks at him, he's like,
you both make valid points, so I'm gonna go speak to Vince to see if I can get it approved. But at WrestleMania, Finn Balor will defend the Intercontinental Championship against both Dean Ambrose and Tyler Breeze.
So a big triple threat match for the IC title, booked by Triple H. Not officially official yet, because he's got to get the word from Vince, but I'm sure Vince won't have a problem with it. The second of the two women's tag title matches, Sasha and Bayley scored the win over Titus Worldwide. Bayley pins Dana Brooke. Not much else to it. Sasha and Bayley against the Riot Squad next week to see who moves on to be the finalists from Raw. Dash and Dawson backstage. They're like excited with each other, hype each other up after they scored a win over technically the tag team champions, where they did pin Kurt Hawkins, and how they must be in line for a title shot at WrestleMania when they're interrupted by Lio Rush and Bobby Lashley and Apollo Crews. Leo says, the Revival, you only won because the almighty Bobby Lashley and Apollo Crews, they were your tag team partners. And if the Revival are in line for a tag team title shot, then the almighty and Apollo should also be in line for a title shot at WrestleMania. And at WrestleMania, those titles are going to be leaving wrapped around the waist of Apollo Crews, and they look good wrapped around by the big man in his favourite pose. Lashley would bend over and show his bum, because it's a lovely bum. We need to see it every week. And then the Revival would get up in Leo's face, saying because they don't want the title around Lashley's bum, because that's just making a mockery of the tag division they've worked so hard to revive. And they'd get up in Leo's face, and Leo would back down and take his two henchmen with him. Main event is an AEB. Elias and Drew scored the win over John Cena and Seth when Drew pins John Cena with a Claymore kick, because Seth Rollins was distracted by Brock Lesnar, who was standing on the ramp. He comes out, his music hits halfway through the match to distract Seth, and then he just stands on the ramp, hopping about back and forth with his title, until after the match, Elias, Drew and Cena have apparently vanished, and Lesnar charges to the ring, and he does the thing where he grabs Seth and charges him into the corner, and hammers away on him in the corner. He then pulls him back, and gets him up on his shoulders for an F5. He tosses him, and Seth lands on his feet. He then does the super kick to the gut thing, stunning Brock, holding his gut in pain, which allows Seth to deliver a curb stomp, which lays the beast out. Heyman's watching this in shock, because obviously Lesnar's been battering Seth for the last couple of weeks. Last couple of times we've seen Brock. And now Seth's got the upper hand, and Rollins is shouting at him. We can't quite make out what he's saying, but it's very much gesturing that he's coming for the beast at WrestleMania, and he'll take the Universal title. We end Raw with a 86B+. It's a pretty decent show. But yeah, that's the Raw after Fastlane. WrestleMania very much in full swing right now. And we'll see how that all continues with SmackDown Live. See you then.